Mr. Chairman, with your permission, we will now proceed to confirm the quorum of this morning. Good morning, everyone. This is a hybrid regular session of the Permanent Council. We have delegations here in the Simon Bolivar, and we have delegations connected outside of headquarters. Between these two groups, we have the following delegations participating: Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, the United States of America, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Jamaica, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, and Uruguay. We have quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Assistant Secretary General. Colleagues, good morning. Before we proceed with the adoption of the order of business today, I would like to take a moment to express our collective condolences to the delegation of the United States of America on the passing of Senator Dianne Feinstein on Thursday, September 28th. Senator Feinstein was a pioneering figure, not just for women in the United States, but for women around the globe aspiring to leadership roles. By shattering numerous glass ceilings throughout her illustrious career, she broadened the realm of possibilities for women worldwide. Beginning her journey as the first female president of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, she later became the first woman to serve as the mayor of San Francisco. Furthermore, her tenure in the United States Senate was marked by resilience and dedication, making her the longest-serving female senator in history. In this role, she also chaired multiple influential committees, being the first woman to do so, and thereby preparing the ground for those who would follow in her footsteps in the United States and elsewhere in the world. We owe Senator Feinstein a profound debt of gratitude for her relentless pursuit of creating safer communities devoid of gun violence. Her legislative legacy includes the landmark 1994 assault weapons ban, reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, and steadfast advocacy for climate change, a matter of concern and priority for all our member states represented here today. I invite all the persons present at this meeting of the Permanent Council to rise and join me in observing a moment of silence in tribute to a truly phenomenal woman. Thank you very much. And I would ask the delegation of the United States of America to please convey to the family of Senator Feinstein the deep condolences of this Permanent Council. Now, colleagues, I am pleased to declare open this regular meeting of the Permanent Council, convened to consider the items contained in the order of business, document CP/OD 2455/23, which I hereby submit for the consideration of the Council. If there are no observations, and I see none, we will proceed to adopt it without amendment. Adopted. Now, colleagues, before addressing the items on the order of business, I wish to make a few brief remarks with your indulgence. This meeting marks the third time that I serve officially as chairman of this permanent council. I am very conscious that this third term is unprecedented since 1962, when the OAS membership began to expand from its then only 21 members. I regard this as a deep honor. I am acutely aware of my role to pay respects to the views and positions of every member state, and in that regard to ensure that there is fairness in how our work is conducted and that there is balance in our conclusions. As chair of the Council, I intend that our work will be characterized by openness, inclusivity, and wide consultation. I expect that over the period of this presidency, we will be faced with trying to resolve many political challenges. Some of them already confront us. Others are looming. It is our task to help to find solutions to these challenges by working collaboratively and with loyalty to our two governing charters, to international law, and to the rules of this Council. In addition to navigating these challenges, I will be circulating the Chairman's work plan in a few days that will have at its center tackling problems that we all have in common and fulfilling aspirations that we all share. I look forward to your collaboration in fulfilling that goal. Now, colleagues, in other matters, on behalf of the Permanent Council, we extend appreciation to the outgoing chair of the Permanent Council, Ambassador Audrey Marks, Permanent Representative of Jamaica, and our thanks to the Vice Chair, Ambassador Carlos Roberto Quezada, who is with us here this morning, the Permanent Representative of Honduras. In this regard, the Secretariat is sending the commemorative gavel to Ambassador Marks as a symbol of her official period as Chair of the Permanent Council. On a final note, before we get down to business, we are all aware of the organization's financial constraints. Therefore, I earnestly appeal to delegations to make efficient and effective use of the time and resources available to the Permanent Council. I ask the delegations limit interventions to a maximum of 5 minutes, pursuant to the provisions of Article 4 of the Rules of Procedure. Your kind cooperation will be greatly appreciated. Colleagues, allow me on behalf of the Permanent Council to extend a cordial welcome to the Permanent Representative of Canada, Ambassador Stuart Savage, who presented his credentials to the Secretary General last Tuesday, September 26th. Ambassador Savage joined External Affairs and International Trade Canada in 1994. Among other positions, he served as Director General for Geographic Coordination and Mission Support, Director for Consular Special Case Support and Children's Issues, and Director for Intergovernmental Relations, and had responsibility for such files as regional security and peacekeeping, multilateral affairs, the G8, and bilateral relations. Positions overseas have included Ambassador to Haiti and Guatemala, High Commissioner to Belize, and Acting High Commissioner to Pakistan. He has also served as in Canada's missions to Spain, Mexico, Cuba, and the United Nations in New York. Prior to joining Canada's Global Affairs, he worked at the World Economic Forum in Geneva, Switzerland, and the Multicultural Council of Windsor and Essex County in Canada. Against that background, it should be clear to all of us that this Council will benefit enormously from the Ambassador's contributions to our work. I now invite Ambassador Savage to deliver his inaugural remarks as permanent representative of Canada.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Dans un moment où l'ordre géopolitique mondial est si instable, le Canada croit plus que jamais à l'importance du multilatéralisme et au renforcement de l'ordre international fondé sur les règles. Pour le Canada, l'OEA est une composante importante de l'architecture multilatérale mondiale. Nous valorisons cette organisation comme le principal forum politique de l'hémisphère. Elle a le pouvoir de nous rallier face aux plus grands enjeux régionaux et mondiaux. Moi et mon équipe avons hâte de travailler avec vous pour faire avancer nos objectifs communs. Monsieur le Président, ce matin, j'ai participé à l'ouverture d'un événement dans notre ambassade pour marquer la Journée nationale pour la vérité et réconciliation au Canada. Cette journée a été instituée comme une commémoration publique et officielle des conséquences douloureuses et continues de l'ancien système de pensionnat pour les enfants autochtones de mon pays. Elle est un élément essentiel dans notre processus de réconciliation entre le gouvernement et le peuple canadien et les Premières Nations, les Inuits et les Métis du Canada. Les pensionnats faisaient partie des politiques coloniales d'assimilation qui retiraient les enfants autochtones de leur famille et de leur communauté. Même si de nombreux Canadiens n'ont pris conscience que récemment de ces conséquences des pensionnats et du fait que de nombreux de ces enfants ne sont jamais rentrés chez eux, ce sont des vérités avec lesquelles les communautés des Premières Nations, des Inuits et des Métis vivent depuis de nombreuses générations. Le Canada s'engage à soutenir les survivants de ce système, ainsi que les familles et les communautés qui continuent d'être touchées par l'héritage des pensionnats. Nous reconnaissons que les dirigeants et les communautés autochtones savent mieux que quiconque ce dont ils ont besoin, et nous nous engageons à être là pour les soutenir. Je vous parle de notre Journée nationale de la vérité et réconciliation pour souligner que quand le Canada parle de l'importance des droits de la personne, de l'inclusion, de la diversité et du développement intégral, nous le faisons avec humilité et la reconnaissance de nos propres torts à ces égards. Il faut apprendre de nos erreurs du passé pour améliorer notre futur. Alors, c'est dans cet esprit que les priorités du Canada et de l'OEA comprennent la promotion et la protection de la démocratie, des droits de la personne, de l'inclusion et du respect de la diversité, de l'égalité des sexes et des droits des peuples autochtones. L'engagement du Canada en faveur de la protection et de la promotion des droits de la personne est au cœur de notre politique étrangère féministe et de notre politique d'aide internationale féministe à l'échelle mondiale. La lutte contre le racisme et la discrimination, la promotion de l'inclusion et du respect de la diversité, de la liberté d'expression, de rassemblement et de la garantie d'une participation pleine et égale des femmes aux espaces de direction et de prise de décision sont des éléments clés des démocraties saines. Nous allons continuer à travailler avec la Commission interaméricaine des droits de la personne pour défendre et promouvoir nos valeurs et celles de nous tous ici. Mr. Chair, within the OAS and the inter-American system, Canada will continue to work to ensure that gender equality is effectively implemented. This is why we are proud to partner with the Inter-American Commission of Women, the CIM, with its long history of advancing the rights of women in the Americas. Canada will continue our strong advocacy in favor of the rights of women and girls here in all the spaces of the organization, including the Permanent Council and the General Assembly. Democracy, as we know too well, is facing challenges globally. We must work together to protect our democratic institutions and strengthen the rule of law to maintain stability and prosperity and hope here in the Americas. This includes protecting the principles enshrined in the Inter-American Democratic Charter, which you celebrated last week so eloquently, and the OAS Charter. The creation of the voluntary group, as we see on today's agenda, is an important step in this regard. Canada is committed to working constructively with member states to strengthen mechanisms and exchange good practices in response to contemporary challenges to democracy. The decision by the current government of Nicaragua to denounce the OAS Charter could not provide a clearer example of such challenges. Canada will stand steadfast in solidarity with the people of Nicaragua. In our national capacity and also as co-chair of the OAS Working Group on Nicaragua, Canada will continue to urge that government to cease all violence against and violations of the rights of its people, and to fully restore all civil and political rights, religious freedoms, and rule of law in that country. Haiti also faces serious challenges to democracy as well as a multidimensional crisis. Canada will continue to offer its solidarity and support to the people of Haiti in their efforts towards democratic renewal, including the reform of the national police and the judicial and legal systems, in order to enable Haitians to live in greater security and peace, away from the violence of gangs and corruption, and build a more prosperous future for themselves. We will continue to contribute technical assistance and financial support as necessary. Climate change remains an existential threat to humanity, and many countries in the hemisphere are among the worst or most vulnerable to the effects of that challenge. As we speak, the Ministers of Finance of the Americas are meeting in the Bahamas to chart a path forward on climate finance and to address this pressing challenge. Canada is pleased to be participating in that meeting, where the Inter-American Climate Change Action Plan will be approved to help guide this organization's work from now until 2030. Canada remains committed to working with its partners in addressing climate change and notes the important role that the Inter-American Council on Integral Development, the CD, plays in fostering regional cooperation in this crucial area. As we experienced through the COVID-19 pandemic, public health is a critical matter that we must continue addressing collectively. The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, continues to be Canada's most important multilateral health partner in the Americas. Our $140 million partnership with PAHO focuses on a wide range of public health issues, from vaccination to health system strengthening, from eliminating neglected infectious diseases such as trachoma, to increasing the access of women and girls to sexual and reproductive health. These efforts must continue across the board and keep in mind women and girls in all their diversity, along with people living in situations of vulnerability. Canada is supportive of much of the excellent work done by so many of the OAS and Inter-American system. Other examples could be cited, such as our project with the Department for Electoral Cooperation and Observation, DECO, that supports electoral management bodies to administer electoral processes and increase the role and engagement of civil society in overseeing these systems. Along the same lines, Canada remains committed to supporting the deployment of strong and impartial OAS election observation missions in the Americas. And through our support to the Inter-American Commission on Women, through a new project called Feminist Partnership for Gender Equality, Canada is working to defend and advance gender equality in the hemisphere. I could go on, but I'll spare you. Canada is committed to working in our hemisphere to make it more secure. Canada supports extensive OAS programming to build capacity and resilience and to address security and defense threats. Likewise, Canada is proud to be providing financial support to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights to prevent violations of women's rights, including discrimination, gender-based violence, as well as the rights of the two-spirited LGBTQI+ and reproductive rights. But all these areas that I have noted can only see progress if we can achieve them through a strong and healthy OAS and Inter-American system. It is vital that these institutions continue to receive the support of all member states. You have heard Canada say this before, but I will repeat it. Responsible financing and budgeting is crucial to the survival and effectiveness of this organization. Canada will continue to work with all of you to reinforce sound management, financial stability, and the overall resilience and effectiveness of the Inter-American system. The more we can collectively make the Inter-American system coherent and effective, the better chance we have for it to help us all overcome the challenges we face and bring about a more just, secure, and prosperous future for the people of this hemisphere. Mr. Chair, fellow permanent representatives, you can count on our delegation to pursue open dialogue with inclusivity and a search for unity and consensus, based on shared principles of human rights, democracy, and sustainable development for all, in order to find ways forward on the challenges that face us in this region. Canada will work hand in hand with all of you to ensure that the OAS and other hemispheric institutions are strong, effective, and inclusive as much as possible, together. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you for welcoming me so warmly.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Savage. And I noticed that Canada and you managed this morning to have a very early friend because instead of the 5 minutes allocated to speakers, you have been recorded as speaking for absolutely no time at all, 00.00. That's pretty impressive as a first outing. But thank you again. And now I invite the coordinators of regional groups and other delegations who I'm sure wish to welcome the permanent representative of Canada. Requesting to speak the distinguished delegation of Bolivia. Sir, you have the floor.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Yo quiero empezar felicitándolo a usted por su tercer nombramiento como presidente de este Consejo Permanente y felicitarlo, aprovechar la oportunidad para felicitar su gran trayectoria al interior de la organización. De alguna manera las personas hacen a las organizaciones y a veces incluso a las naciones. Son las personas las que marcan la historia, las victorias y las grandezas de las instituciones y las naciones, y esas personas de alguna manera quedan inscritas en la historia de estas instituciones. El nombre suyo, presidente, y aprovecho la oportunidad para decirlo, ha resonado muchas veces y pasará seguramente a la historia como un miembro importante, trascendental y con una presencia muy recordada al interior de la Organización de los Estados Americanos. Señor presidente, en mi condición de coordinador regional del Grupo 10, la misión permanente del Estado Plurinacional de Bolivia, a nombre de las misiones de Argentina, Brasil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, México, Paraguay, Perú, Uruguay y a nombre propio, saluda fraternalmente al nuevo representante permanente de Canadá y le extiende una cálida bienvenida. El grupo reconoce el profesionalismo y capacidad del señor Stuart, quien ingresó al Departamento de Relaciones Exteriores y Comercio Internacional de Canadá en 1994. Diplomático de carrera con vasta experiencia en el servicio exterior, ha representado a su país en importantes misiones oficiales. Fue embajador de Canadá en Haití, Guatemala, alto comisionado en Belice y alto comisionado interino en Pakistán. Además, ha servido en las misiones de Canadá en España, México, Cuba y la Organización de Naciones Unidas en Nueva York, entre otros cargos importantes del Servicio Exterior del Canadá. En el Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores en Ottawa, entre sus muchos logros, ocupó el cargo de director general para el involucramiento de los canadienses, así como la coordinación geográfica y apoyo a la misión. También se desempeñó como director de apoyo a casos consulares complejos y asuntos infantiles, director de Relaciones Intergubernamentales y ha tenido responsabilidad en temas como seguridad regional y mantenimiento de la paz, asuntos multilaterales y el G8, entre otras importantes misiones. Señor presidente, el Grupo 10 valora la destacada trayectoria profesional del embajador Stuart y confía en su contribución al fortalecimiento de los 4 pilares de la organización democrática: derechos humanos, seguridad y desarrollo, basado en el multilateralismo y la cooperación entre los Estados miembros. El Grupo Regional y el Estado Plurinacional de Bolivia, en particular, hacen votos para que el dinamismo y liderazgo que caracteriza a la delegación de Canadá en temas referidos a los avances en derechos humanos, derechos de los menores, derechos de las niñas en toda su diversidad, mujeres y niñas en toda su diversidad, sin discriminación alguna, se vean fortalecidos con la llegada del distinguido embajador Savage. Estimado embajador, estamos seguros del éxito de su misión ante la Organización de los Estados Americanos. Cuente usted con la amistad y el aprecio de nuestro grupo regional y sea muy bienvenido al seno de este Consejo Permanente. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to El Salvador.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Permítame inicialmente felicitarle y desearle el mayor de los éxitos en sus funciones como presidente de este Consejo Permanente y ofrecerle desde la delegación de El Salvador todo nuestro apoyo y colaboración. Señor presidente, en nombre de las delegaciones de Belice, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Panamá y República Dominicana, países miembros del sistema de la integración centroamericana acreditadas ante la OEA, tengo el honor de extenderle la más cordial bienvenida al excelentísimo embajador Stuart Savage como representante permanente de Canadá ante la Organización de los Estados Americanos. La destacada trayectoria del embajador Savage denota un amplio conocimiento de la región, al haber representado a Canadá en algunos de los países que integramos esta organización. Su experiencia sin duda enriquecerá nuestros trabajos y coadyuvará a los avances de la agenda interamericana, a renovar el compromiso de Canadá con la democracia, el desarrollo, los derechos humanos y la seguridad, pilares de nuestra organización. Estimado embajador, el sistema interamericano se ha beneficiado de los aportes de Canadá desde su ingreso a esta organización y su fiel defensa de los principios y valores que la definen. No dudamos que durante su gestión se renueva este compromiso para hacer frente de manera conjunta a los desafíos que como región enfrentamos en consonancia con sus palabras de seguir comprometiéndonos en torno a cuestiones antiguas y nuevas que nos plantean retos. Estamos seguros de que sus cualidades profesionales y personales contribuirán a los debates de este Consejo, con la seguridad que, a través de nuestros esfuerzos colectivos, la OEA permanezca vigente y contribuya a la prosperidad y la estabilidad de todo el hemisferio. Le auguramos el mayor de los éxitos en sus nuevas funciones y le ofrecemos la amistad y el apoyo a su gestión por parte de los países miembros del sistema de la integración centroamericana aquí presente. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to the United States of America.
Thank you very much, Chair. And let me say at the outset that the United States warmly welcomes your stewardship of this permanent council, which will benefit from your deep experience. At the same time, we'd like to extend our thank you and congratulations to Ambassador Audrey Marks for her service as chair of this permanent council during the 3 previous months. Chair, the United States congratulates Ambassador Stuart Savage on his appointment as Canada's permanent representative to the Organization of American States. From fostering economic partnerships to promoting inclusive democratic values, Canada demonstrates an unwavering commitment to our region's development and stability. We strongly support Canada's co-chairmanship of the OAS Working Group on Nicaragua and welcome the chance to engage with Ambassador Savage in that context, especially as we anticipate the unfortunate denouncement of the OAS Charter taking effect in November on the part of the Nicaraguan government. We also know that Ambassador Savage will work to continue to advance gender equality throughout the Americas. We welcome the opportunity to collaborate together in ways to support women's leadership programs, projects that address gender-based violence, enhance women's access to education and health care, and partner with the OAS to enhance women's economic opportunities. In summary, we look forward to working with Ambassador Savage and the entire Canadian delegation to advance many key OAS priorities, from strengthening of the Inter-American Democratic Charter, addressing the urgent security crisis in Haiti, protecting human rights and fundamental freedoms, and fostering economic development throughout the Western Hemisphere. Chair, in an increasingly interconnected and polarized world, Canada's lasting commitment to multilateralism is more important than ever. We know that Ambassador Savage will continue this commitment here at the OAS as we all work to ensure that diplomacy and regional cooperation can achieve lasting results. Thank you, and merci.
Thank you very much to the delegation of the United States. And now I'm pleased to give the floor to the distinguished ambassador of Mexico.
Gracias, señor presidente. Reciba la felicitación de mi delegación por su presidencia. Agradecemos sus palabras sobre el respeto que tendrá de las posiciones de los Estados miembros, del derecho internacional, de la Carta de la OEA y los demás instrumentos interamericanos, porque esa es y debe ser siempre la base de nuestra actuación en este organismo multilateral. Cuenta usted con el apoyo de México para trabajar basados en esos principios. Señor presidente, la delegación de México da la más cordial bienvenida al embajador Stuart Savage como representante permanente de Canadá, país con el que compartimos una larga relación de amistad y cooperación bilateral enmarcada, entre otros instrumentos, en el Tratado México-Estados Unidos y Canadá-TEMEC. Nuestros países mantienen intereses y objetivos altamente coincidentes, como el impulso estratégico de una política exterior feminista, la promoción y protección de los derechos humanos, en particular los de las mujeres en toda su diversidad, y de otros grupos históricamente marginados y en situación de vulnerabilidad, como la población LGBTIQ+, las personas con discapacidad, los pueblos indígenas, los afrodescendientes, entre otros, así como en distintas agendas de desarrollo, de seguridad y de derecho internacional. Nuestros países son diversos y debemos fortalecer de manera permanente todos los derechos de todas las personas, donde por fortuna somos fuertes aliados. Embajador, cuenta con mi delegación para seguir promoviendo estos temas dentro de la OEA, así como la declaración sobre la Alianza de América del Norte para la Igualdad y la Justicia Racial, suscrita el 10 de enero pasado por los cancilleres de México, Estados Unidos y Canadá, y continuar trabajando de manera constructiva en favor de un multilateralismo efectivo apegado a los propósitos y principios de la Carta de la OEA y, sobre todo, que sirva a las personas, esté basado en el derecho internacional y sea congruente con nuestra actuación en Naciones Unidas. Estoy segura que trabajaremos muy constructivamente. Muy bienvenido, embajador.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to the delegation of Panama.
Muy buenos días, señor presidente. Gracias. Quisiera iniciar también deseándole el mayor de los éxitos en este periodo y felicitarlo, ya que además de ser nuestro decano, con su vasta experiencia estamos seguros que va a procurar los espacios de diálogo abiertos y francos que esta organización necesita en un periodo tan crítico como el que estamos enfrentados en este momento. También quisiera reconocer a la embajadora Audrey Marks por su periodo y también a nuestro colega centroamericano, vicepresidente del periodo anterior, Roberto Quesada, que en varios momentos tuvo que dar un paso adelante para gestionar los trabajos del Consejo Permanente. También quisiera, con la venia de nuestra coordinación regional, aprovechar para expresar la más cálida bienvenida al embajador Stuart Savage a esta Casa de las Américas. A la delegación de Panamá no le cabe duda que su amplia experiencia laboral y diplomática, tanto en el ámbito bilateral como multilateral, aportarán de manera significativa al trabajo que se realiza en este Consejo Permanente, en el Consejo Interamericano para el Desarrollo Integral y en todas las demás dependencias de esta organización. A su vez, confiamos plenamente que en el ámbito multilateral podremos gestionar un trabajo conjunto que permita continuar reforzando esos sólidos lazos de amistad y cooperación que han unido a nuestras naciones durante los últimos 62 años. Una relación bilateral que trasciende la diplomacia formal y se entrelaza profundamente con el tejido de nuestras sociedades. En Panamá nos orgullece albergar una próspera comunidad de alrededor de 8,000 residentes canadienses y recibimos anualmente con calidez alrededor de 82,000 turistas canadienses que eligen visitar nuestro país. Y de manera recíproca, alrededor de 5,000 panameños que residen en Panamá y en su mayoría escogieron Canadá como su lugar de residencia en el momento más crítico de nuestra vida democrática, en plena dictadura. En esta línea también quisiera resaltar que Canadá ocupa actualmente el primer lugar entre los principales países que contribuyen a la inversión extranjera directa de Panamá. Por otro lado, cuando se trata de perspectivas e ideas, Panamá y Canadá han compartido posiciones similares y un interés especial en temas como derechos humanos, Estado de Derecho, protección del medio ambiente, migración irregular, seguridad y libre comercio. Siendo que Panamá ocupa por primera vez la presidencia de la Comisión Interamericana de Mujeres, me permito destacar uno de los principales compromisos que evidencia esos valores compartidos que unen a nuestras dos naciones y que se refleja constantemente en el marco de esta organización, la protección de los derechos de la mitad de la población, es decir, el avance de la agenda de igualdad de género en este hemisferio. Embajador Savage, esta delegación reitera sus más sinceros deseos de éxito en su camino como representante permanente de esta organización y aprovecha la ocasión para manifestar que el equipo de Panamá se encuentra a su disposición para lo que se necesite. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Rocaber. Now I give the floor to the delegation of Jamaica.
Good morning, Excellencies, colleagues. First, let me congratulate you, Ambassador Sanders, on your chairmanship of the Permanent Council. I take this opportunity on behalf of the CARICOM Caucus to congratulate Ambassador Stuart Savage on his appointment and welcome you to the OAS. We look forward to continue our engagement and the deepening of our collaboration, particularly on key priority areas such as climate change, climate financing, and empowerment of women and girls. We are confident that your experience will contribute to the strengthening of the work of the OAS, and you can count on our continued support. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Marks. And now the final word to Belize.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I join in congratulating you as you assume the chairmanship of this esteemed organization. We strongly believe that your vast experience and your proven track record is just what this organization needs at this time. We also join in congratulating and thanking Ambassador Marks and Ambassador Quesada for their contributions. I want to echo the sentiments expressed by our CARICOM coordinator and our SECA coordinator in extending a warm welcome to our distinguished representative from Canada, His Excellency Ambassador Stuart Savage. As we have heard, Ambassador Savage brings a wealth of experience and deep commitment to promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in the Americas. His presence here today underscores Canada's dedication to the fundamental principles enshrined in the OAS Charter, including democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Ambassador Savage is well known in Belize, having spearheaded many engagements between Canada and Belize when he served as the Canadian High Commission of Canada to Belize. One such initiative I remember well is Canada's anti-crime capacity building program, which helped Belize tremendously to enhance the security efforts. I experienced personally because I was the Canadian Honorary Consul to Belize at that time. As we embark on this journey of collaboration, we look forward to working closely with Ambassador Savage and his delegation to address the pressing challenges and opportunities that the region faces. Together, we aim to foster a future of shared prosperity, inclusivity, and harmony for all nations in the Americas. Ambassador Savage, I extend my best wishes for a successful and productive tenure in your role, and may your diplomatic efforts continue to contribute to the advancement of our shared goals and values. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the distinguished Ambassador of Belize, and to all of the speakers this morning. Ambassador Savage, let me lead the applause in welcoming you to this Permanent Council. And now, colleagues, I have the great pleasure of extending a cordial welcome to a fellow CARICOM ambassador, the permanent representative of Grenada, Ambassador Tarlie Francis, who presented his credentials to the Secretary General last Friday, September 29th. Ambassador Francis holds an LLB Honors Law degree and an MSc in Social Sciences. Ambassador Francis has worked in the private and public sectors with notable roles in financial institutions such as the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange Limited in St. Kitts, the Caribbean Financial Services Corporation Limited in Barbados, and the Republic Finance and Merchant Bank Limited in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the Inland Revenue and Budget Departments in the Ministry of Finance of Grenada. Ambassador Francis is also recognized as Reverend Francis. He is an ordained deacon in the Catholic Church. Ambassador Francis's commitment both to financial growth and spiritual development will undoubtedly make him a valued voice in the discourse of this Permanent Council. I now invite Ambassador Francis to deliver his inaugural remarks as the permanent representative of the OAS. Let me read that again. Ambassador and permanent representative of Grenada to the OAS. Ambassador Francis, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Sir Ronald Saunders, Chair of the Permanent Council. I should probably offer that it is a gift that my first words on this floor would coincide with your historic chairmanship, third session, and congratulate you at that as well, and assure you of our delegation's support wherever you would need. Your Excellency, Assistant Secretary General, distinguished permanent representatives, alternate representatives, permanent observers, good morning, everyone. So I extend my heartfelt gratitude for this invaluable opportunity to address the esteemed Council, Permanent Council of the Organization of American States. It is with great reverence that I take on this role as the permanent representative of Grenada to the OAS, an organization that embodies the most positive elements of the fundamental principles and aspirations of our region and hemisphere. I would like, in your presence, to bring greetings from and to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my Prime Minister, Honorable Dickon Mitchell, from his cabinet, his Foreign Minister, Honorable Joseph Andal, who addressed you here earlier this year, for the profound trust they have placed in me to serve in this role. It is a distinct honor, and I have accepted it with the responsibilities that comes with it, with unwavering dedication and commitment. Please allow me from the outset to express my gratitude to the Secretary General and to all of you for the warm welcome and support that have been extended to me to this point. I look forward to collaborating with each of you in the spirit of unity and cooperation that defines the OAS. I take this opportunity also to recognize before you my gratitude to my colleague, Dr. Wendell Cornwall, Grenada's alternate representative to the OAS, for his exceptional dedication and expertise in representing our nation's interests here at this table in the intervening period towards my accreditation. In the short time since I've arrived, I observed that you, colleagues, have already grown quite fond of him and I wish to reaffirm that he will continue to be present with us, fulfilling his duties, his mission. With your leave, Mr. Chair, I would like to take a moment to share a few thoughts on some of the key issues that resonate with both Grenada's foreign policy focus and my own areas of expertise and interest. Grenada's foreign policy has always been rooted in the principles of sovereignty, non-interference, and respect for international law. As a small island development state, we understand the significance of multilateralism in addressing the complex challenges facing our world today. Our commitment to the principles enshrined in the OAS Charter is unwavering, and we believe in the organization's potential to foster peace, stability, and sustainable development in the Americas. In accordance with the Charter and principles of the OAS, our shared focus must remain on the promotion and protection of democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. For us, these are not mere words on paper. They are the very foundation upon which our collective efforts are built. Hence, we subscribe to, we promote, and we steadfastly defend the CARICOM agenda for sustainable socioeconomic justice in development. We must continue to uphold these values, even in the face of doubt and adversities. My tenure here will be characterized by a commitment to fostering dialogue and cooperation among member states. In this regard, I draw on the inspiration from the words of the late Grenadian Prime Minister Maurice Bishop, who said, "In unity, there is strength." Unity is the cornerstone of our region's and our hemisphere's ability to address the pressing issues of our time. As I reflect on the current challenges facing the Americas, it is evident that economic stability and development finance are pivotal to our collective progress. Drawing upon my expertise in international financial matters, I believe that we must explore innovative financial instruments and partnerships to support countries in the region, especially those grappling with economic disparities and vulnerabilities. Youth employment and gender equity are central to creating productive and just societies. Grenada recognizes the importance of empowering our youth and ensuring gender inclusivity in all aspects of our nation's and our hemispheric development. Our commitment to these principles aligns with the OAS's mission to promote social inclusion and equal opportunities for all. As our Foreign Minister, Honorable Joseph Andel, explained at this very table a few months ago, our government is laser-focused on a transformational agenda to progress centered on the pillars of empowering our peoples, transforming our economies, governance and institutional rebuilding, environmental management, and a fit-for-purpose foreign policy outlook. Indeed, Grenada is deeply committed to the principles and the goals that underpin the OAS: democracy, peace, security, and development throughout the Americas. As we stand united under this common banner, I remain cognizant and aware of the challenges our region faces, which span a spectrum of complexity. Foremost among these today is the pressing issue of climate change. The existential threat it poses knows no borders, and Grenada is acutely aware of the vulnerabilities we share with our neighbors. The imperative for enhanced security cooperation in combating transnational crime is another critical concern that we are poised together to navigate successfully. Furthermore, the issue of renewable energy access is paramount in today's world as we confront the urgent need to address climate change and the climate crisis. Grenada is committed to sustainable energy solutions, and we encourage a greater cooperation among our member states in enhancing the potential of renewable energy sources. This not only benefits our environment, but also opens doors to economic growth and job creation. As I join you in this august body, be assured of my belief that by uniting our country's efforts, fostering innovation and bolstering resilience, we can navigate these uncharted waters and build a sustainable future. Permit me also a moment to avail of this opportunity to share the momentous announcement that 2024, Grenada will celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence. We plan to mark this jubilee with several months of reflection and, yes, festivities. As we approach our friends and neighbors, including your esteemed members and observers of the OAS, we invite you to join us in celebrating this historic occasion as we are consolidating our gains and laying the foundations for brighter horizons for future generations. In closing, I want to emphasize our belief in the importance of this organization's role in shaping a brighter future for the Americas. Again, I draw inspiration from the words of our Prime Minister, Dickon Mitchell, who stated in his recent address to the UNGA 78, "Our strength lies in our unity and our ability to work together towards common goals," unquote. With humility, my previous role as a special envoy of Grenada in perplexing and complicated engagements has provided me with profound insights into the intricacies of diplomatic missions, the importance of dialogue, and the significance of collaborative diplomacy. I carry this experience with me, understanding the delicate balances that often underpin international relations. We place this, Mr. Chair, at the OAS's avail. Today I join you, Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, in your ongoing efforts to seize the moment to reach solutions that give meaning to the principles of the OAS Charter, to strengthen our collaboration, and to make a lasting impact on the lives of our citizens. With this, I look forward to working closely with each of you in the pursuit of our shared objectives. Together, we can build a more prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable Americas. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your statement. Colleagues, I hope that you notice that in the spirit of equality of membership of this organization, the representative of Grenada also spoke for 0.00 minutes in this assembly. Now I'd like to invite the regional coordinators and other delegations that may wish to welcome the Ambassador of Grenada, and I give the floor to the distinguished representative of Jamaica.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, Ambassador Tarlie Francis, on behalf of CARICOM Caucus and my own behalf, it is my honor to welcome you to the OAS. I also welcome you to the CARICOM Caucus. We are in agreement that as small island developing states, we are vulnerable to external shocks. We share a common vision to achieve the development of our nations and the betterment of the lives of our peoples. We therefore look forward to working with you on areas of common interest, including the political and humanitarian situation in our sister CARICOM country, Haiti. As CARICOM member states, the OAS provides a platform for collaboration with member states in this hemisphere that is invaluable. Undoubtedly, your vast and exceptional experiences and skills will serve to enhance our partnerships. Again, congratulations, Ambassador Francis, and welcome to the OAS. I look forward to working with you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Marks. I now give the floor to the representative of Bolivia.
Gracias, señor presidente. En nombre de las delegaciones de Argentina, Brasil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, México, Paraguay, Perú, Uruguay, a nombre propio, tengo el honor de brindar la más cordial bienvenida al embajador Tarlie Francis, representante permanente de Granada ante la Organización de los Estados Americanos. El embajador Tarlie Francis es consultor financiero con más de 20 años de experiencia en presupuestación del sector público gestión de deuda administrativa tributaria y recaudación de fondos corporativos. Posee también una amplia trayectoria en el sector privado y su visión y su aporte serán de gran valía para este Consejo Permanente. Señor Presidente, reafirmamos al embajador Tarlie Francis la buena disposición del Grupo 10 para trabajar de manera conjunta en asuntos de común interés para nuestros pueblos, en especial en lo que se refiere a la lucha contra el cambio climático que amenaza con revertir la lucha contra la pobreza extrema, convirtiéndose en una grave amenaza regional y mundial. Asimismo, estamos convencidos que con su experiencia profesional y su vocación espiritual, los Estados miembros nos beneficiaremos de sus aportes en asuntos de especial interés para el hemisferio, como es el desarrollo sostenible, la generación de excedentes económicos y la redistribución de los mismos en favor de nuestros pueblos y las personas que más lo necesitan. Estimado embajador Francis, le deseamos muchos éxitos en sus nuevas funciones. Sea usted muy bienvenido a este Consejo Permanente y cuente siempre con el respeto, el apoyo y la amistad de nuestro grupo regional. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to El Salvador.
Gracias, señor presidente. En nombre de las delegaciones de Belice, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Panamá y República Dominicana, países miembros del sistema de la integración centroamericana acreditados ante la OEA, me honra brindar la más cordial bienvenida al excelentísimo embajador Tarlie Francis, representante permanente de Granada ante la Organización de los Estados Americanos. El embajador Francis es un destacado profesional con amplia experiencia tanto en el ámbito público como privado, lo cual brindará nuevas perspectivas y aportes a los debates que este Consejo Permanente adelanta en diversos temas. Los países de nuestra región compartimos retos similares con Granada, por lo que no dudamos que habrán oportunidades de profundizar el diálogo y el desarrollo de acciones conjuntas en materia de lucha contra el cambio climático, el crecimiento económico y el respeto por los derechos humanos, entre otros temas identificados como prioritarios. Valoramos los aportes de su país a la OEA, testimonio del compromiso con los principios y valores de nuestra organización, y apreciamos su disposición expresa de abordar de manera conjunta los desafíos y las oportunidades en el hemisferio, fortaleciendo la cooperación regional. Estimado embajador Francis, le deseamos muchos éxitos en sus nuevas funciones. Cuente con el apoyo y la amistad de nuestra región para el logro de los objetivos comunes de bienestar y desarrollo de nuestros pueblos a los que esta organización está llamada. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to the delegation of the United States of America.
Thank you, Chair. And on behalf of the United States delegation, we welcome Ambassador Tarlie Francis as the new permanent representative of Grenada to the OAS. We extend our warmest greetings as he assumes this role in advancing diplomatic relationships between his government and the OAS and with my government as bilateral ambassador. My delegation looks forward to collaborating closely with Ambassador Francis and his team to further shared goals in the Caribbean and the broader Americas, including our dedication to promoting free and fair elections. We take special note of Ambassador Francis's wealth of experience in financial management, which is especially timely as we all continue to ensure that the OAS operates on sound fiscal footing. Chair, one of the paramount challenges facing Grenada is its vulnerability to the adverse effects of climate change, such as rising sea levels and increasingly severe hurricanes. The United States shares Grenada's concerns and is committed to mitigating the impacts of climate change, including through efforts here at the OAS. With this in mind, we are proud to be working together in the U.S.-Caribbean Partnership to Address the Climate Crisis, or PAC 2030 initiative, which has been instrumental in supporting Grenada and other Caribbean nations in their climate resilience efforts. Furthermore, our joint efforts to counter transnational organized crime, combat illicit firearms trafficking, and to promote regional security cooperation are a cornerstone of our bilateral and inter-American partnerships. President Biden has reaffirmed our commitment to work closely with Grenada on critical issues such as education, entrepreneurship, climate resilience, and clean energy initiatives. This collaboration includes our work together in the Partnership Framework for HIV and AIDS and the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, or CBSI. Through CBSI, we have made significant strides in countering transnational organized crime, illicit trafficking, and enhancing regional security cooperation. Our mutual legal assistance treaties, extradition treaty, and maritime law enforcement treaty also reflect the depth of our cooperation. Colleagues, we extend our wholehearted welcome to Ambassador Francis and look forward to working together in the months and years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, United States of America. Now I give the floor to the distinguished ambassador of Mexico.
Gracias, señor presidente. Mi delegación da la más cordial bienvenida al embajador Tarlie Francis como representante permanente de Granada, país con el que México tiene una relación de amistad y cooperación desde que Granada logró su independencia y nuestros países establecieron relaciones diplomáticas. México ha fortalecido sus relaciones con la CARICOM en el marco de la Asociación de Estados del Caribe y de la Comunidad de Estados Latinoamericanos y Caribeños, CELAC, ha profundizado su cooperación bilateral y ha establecido embajadas en el Caribe anglófono para hacer consistente la prioridad que le otorga a esa región. Embajador, su llegada fortalece la presencia de su país y del Caribe en esta organización. Cuenta con mi delegación para trabajar de manera cercana y constructiva, en particular en aquellos temas en los que compartimos oportunidades, así como retos y desafíos comunes, como los efectos del cambio climático, la agenda de seguridad, la creación de condiciones para un crecimiento económico sostenible que permita reducir las desigualdades de nuestras sociedades, así como la lucha contra el racismo, la discriminación, la justicia social y la defensa de la dignidad humana. Sea usted muy bienvenido.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to the distinguished ambassador of Panama.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Con la venia de nuestra coordinación regional, deseo ofrecer una cordial bienvenida a su Excelencia Tarlie Francis como representante permanente de Granada ante esta organización. Las históricas relaciones de Panamá con los países de CARICOM son de especial importancia para los panameños y panameñas, siendo la consolidación y el perfeccionamiento de nuestra identidad cultural en gran medida producto del legado de miles de caribeños que arribaron a nuestro istmo. Como tuvimos la oportunidad hace poco de plasmar, sentimos orgullo por la memoria e identidad compartida con nuestros ancestros y ancestras de la ruta transísmica. Adicionalmente, en la coyuntura actual enfrentamos desafíos parecidos, como los efectos del cambio climático, a los cuales, producto de características compartidas como ser ambos países pequeños, hemos contribuido a contrarrestarlos adoptando medidas similares. Granada y Panamá han sostenido relaciones diplomáticas desde noviembre de 1974, casi medio siglo de armónica colaboración entre ambos países. Hoy reiteramos nuestro compromiso con Granada y aprovechamos esta oportunidad para manifestar que tiene el completo apoyo y disposición del equipo de la Misión Permanente de Panamá para emprender proyectos conjuntos que promuevan una región más próspera y justa. Esta delegación confía plenamente que su amplia experiencia y habilidades diplomáticas fortalecerá aún más los lazos de cooperación entre nuestras naciones y que enriquecerá enormemente el trabajo que realiza en el marco de esta organización para el beneficio de nuestra América. Sea usted bienvenido, embajador Francis.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Roquebert. And now the distinguished representative of Canada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's with the greatest of pleasure and warmest of welcome I'd like to extend Canada's best wishes to the new representative, permanent representative and ambassador from Grenada to this august council. I am particularly honored personally today to have the honor to be joining with such an august colleague who brings with him so many talents and skills, including from outside the normal realm in which we tend to live, a diplomatic bubble that some people sometimes think is impenetrable. But we have proof here today that there are opportunities for outside thinking to be introduced with new ideas, which hopefully will enrich our discussions and reflections, and particularly around areas of expertise that you bring, Ambassador, in finance and sustainability for this important organization, as well as the programs and projects it oversees to help benefit the peoples of the Americas. I note from your speech that we share very many priorities in common around the promotion and protection of human rights, democracy, the rule of law, defending and promoting an agenda for sustainable social development, economic stability, and fighting climate change, in which Canada looks forward to partnering with you and the rest of the friends around this table as we move forward. I only hope that you can also take advantage of your complementary role as Reverend to seek divine intervention to help us move forward more quickly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I can't help but remark that we've registered a number of firsts in this Permanent Council meeting this morning. First time we've had a new representative, welcome a new representative on the same day. But it just goes to show the flexibility with which this organization can operate and the fact that we can rise to the occasion whenever it demands it. But I thank all of the delegations who have spoken to welcome Ambassador Francis, and I ask you to join with me in applauding his arrival. Now, colleagues, we will proceed to the next item on the order of business, which is the establishment of the voluntary group on the Inter-American Democratic Charter, pursuant to Resolution 3004 of the General Assembly. Operative paragraph 2 of Section 6 of that resolution encourages, and I'll quote it, the creation of an open participation voluntary group of member states to foster, with the support of the Secretariat for Strengthening Democracy, I'm sorry, I didn't realize my microphone was off. At what point did that happen? Just I am, in any event, I apologize. That was drawn to my attention a little late that I'd neglected to switch the microphone back on. But, colleagues, I'd moved on to item 4, which is the item on the order of business, which is the establishment of the voluntary group on the Inter-American Democratic Charter, pursuant to Resolution 3004 of the General Assembly. Operative paragraph 2 of Section 6 of that resolution encourages, and I will quote it, the creation of an open participation voluntary group of member states to foster, with the support of the Secretariat for Strengthening Democracy, dialogue, horizontal cooperation, and the sharing of best practices among its members, and to identify opportunities within the principles of the OS Charter and the Inter-American Democratic Charter to strengthen their democracies. In this regard, I am pleased to offer the floor to the distinguished Ambassador of Costa Rica, who will advise this Permanent Council of matters related to the voluntary group. Ambassador, you have the floor.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Permítame iniciar felicitándolo por asumir la presidencia de este Consejo Permanente, un hecho histórico que asume usted como representante permanente de Antigua y Barbuda por tercera ocasión. Cuenta con todo el apoyo de mi delegación al asumir estas importantes funciones. A la vez, quisiéramos felicitar a la embajadora Audrey Marks y al embajador Roberto Quesada por su desempeño como presidenta y vicepresidente respectivamente de este Consejo Permanente. También aprovecho para añadir unas breves palabras a título nacional a la cordial bienvenida leída por nuestra coordinación regional al embajador Savage de Canadá y al embajador Francis de Grenada, quienes asumen funciones como representantes permanentes ante la OEA. Desde ya les ofrecemos toda la colaboración posible para trabajar juntos y alcanzar con éxito los objetivos que nos son comunes. Señor presidente, mi delegación agradece la inclusión del punto de agenda en seguimiento al mandato adoptado en el pasado periodo de sesiones ordinarias de la Asamblea General de esta organización contenido en la resolución AG/Res 3004, como parte del seguimiento de la Carta Democrática Interamericana. Al respecto, ante la consulta enviada por la presidencia de este Consejo Permanente mediante oficio CP/INF 9922/22 del pasado 26 de septiembre, esta delegación manifestó su interés en conformar dicho grupo voluntario, apegada al alto valor que nuestro país le concede a la democracia, el Estado de Derecho, a la separación de poderes y a la Carta Democrática Interamericana. Esperamos que muchas otras delegaciones también hayan respondido de manera positiva a este llamado. Señor Presidente, en Costa Rica consideramos que estos son elementos y pilares fundamentales y esenciales que en nuestra sociedad nos han ayudado a construir un país más justo, equitativo y próspero. Me referiré brevemente a cada uno de ellos. Para mi país, la democracia es mucho más que un sistema político. Es un principio fundamental que rige nuestras vidas y decisiones. En Costa Rica hemos abrazado la democracia como un valor central desde hace décadas. La democracia nos permite expresar nuestras opiniones y elegir a nuestros líderes de manera libre y justa. Es un medio para resolver pacíficamente nuestras diferencias y fomentar la participación ciudadana. La democracia también es esencial para garantizar la protección de los derechos humanos, las libertades fundamentales y la igualdad. El Estado de Derecho es otro componente crucial de nuestro sistema. En una sociedad basada en el Estado de Derecho, todas las personas, independientemente de su posición o de poder, están sujetas a las mismas leyes. Esto garantiza la justicia y la igualdad ante la ley. El Estado de Derecho también protege nuestros derechos individuales y colectivos, asegurando que vivamos en un entorno seguro y predecible donde los contratos se cumplen y la justicia prevalece. La separación de poderes es un principio que evita la concentración excesiva de poder en un solo lugar. En Costa Rica, nuestros poderes ejecutivo, legislativo y judicial operan de manera independiente, lo que garantiza un equilibrio de poderes que es esencial para mantener la rendición de cuentas y proteger nuestros derechos. Por su parte, la Carta Democrática Interamericana es un compromiso regional que hemos suscrito junto a otros países del hemisferio. Establece principios y normas que promueven y protegen la democracia en nuestra región. A través de esta carta, nos comprometemos a defender la democracia y a actuar de manera solidaria cuando se vea amenazada en cualquier país miembro. Esto demuestra nuestro compromiso con los valores democráticos, no solo a nivel nacional, sino también en el contexto interamericano. Por eso nos hemos sumado con entusiasmo a la integración de este grupo voluntario que basará sus quehaceres en los principios de la Carta de la OEA y de la Carta Democrática Interamericana. Esto sin ánimo de reformar el contenido de ninguno de estos valiosos documentos, ni sustituir o duplicar el trabajo de los órganos interamericanos ya existentes. Para concluir, la democracia, el Estado de Derecho, la separación de poderes y la Carta Democrática Interamericana son fundamentales para el progreso y bienestar de Costa Rica y de los países de la región. Al proteger y fortalecer estos pilares, aseguramos un futuro en el que todos los ciudadanos de las Américas puedan disfrutar de igualdad, justicia y libertad. Como ciudadanos comprometidos, es nuestro deber salvaguardar estos valores y trabajar juntos para construir una sociedad democrática más sólida y más resiliente. Señor Presidente, es con estas premisas en mente que hemos también venido dándole seguimiento a la situación en Guatemala, generada a partir de las elecciones del pasado mes de junio. Precisamente el día de ayer, los países miembros de la Alianza para el Desarrollo en Democracia, cuyo acrónimo es ADD, Ecuador, Panamá, República Dominicana y Costa Rica, han hecho un llamado a las autoridades guatemaltecas para que cesen todas las acciones que atentan contra la separación de poderes, el Estado de Derecho, la autonomía electoral y la integridad de los comicios. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to offer the floor to other delegations that may wish to speak to the item on the agenda, which is the work of this voluntary group that has been established in support of the Inter-American Democratic Charter. And I give the floor in that regard to the delegation of Uruguay.
Gracias, presidente. La reflexión en torno a la Carta Democrática y el grupo de trabajo que se pone a rodar, como bien decía mi amiga Alejandra Solano, es trascendente, es muy trascendente. Porque si algo sabemos es que la democracia en el 2023 no tiene un punto exacto de coincidencia con la democracia de hace algunas décadas por detrás. La lectura que hacemos de los niveles de calidad de la democracia en el 2023 son más o requieren más atención, requieren sustancial atención y requieren compromiso por parte de todos nosotros. A ver, miro a todos mis colegas del continente. Somos el peor de la escuela, el más violento, el que tiene más homicidios, el que tiene sangre circulando alrededor de todo el continente o en buenas partes del continente. No entiendo muy bien cómo hacemos para hablar de democracia cuando la violencia y la sangre arrasa con buena parte de lo que vivimos, cuando para con las mujeres tenemos un nivel de descomunal violencia, violencia doméstica, violencia de género, todo tipo de violencia. Y a veces nos llenamos la boca en torno a la democracia. Decía bien mi amiga Alejandra Solano sobre alguna referencia puntual. No me voy a salir del orden del día, pero las expresiones del presidente Arévalo de las últimas horas son básicamente un llamado de atención fenomenal para todos nosotros. Supongo que ese es un tema que amerita un análisis en alguna oportunidad, pero vuelvo a la democracia y vuelvo al orden del día. O nosotros nos comprometemos y nos cooperamos más, o la historia nos va a ubicar donde no queremos estar. O nosotros nos comprometemos y nos cooperamos más en todos estos asuntos, o si no, va a pasar lo que tristemente no queremos que suceda. Comprometerse y cooperar más significa tener ensamblajes en materia de combate a la violencia, asumiendo con mayor profundidad la democracia. No voy a repetir la idea. Es ser más demócratas que nunca, respetar el Estado de Derecho de manera obsesiva y militante, pero entender que tenemos un flagelo en el continente que nos está devorando, Y lo que creíamos que le pasaba a algunos, sucede que como una inoculación de un virus se ha ido trasplantando a todo el continente, o a buena parte del continente. A ver, el que no lo quiere ver, no lo vea. El que no quiere ver el nivel de narcotráfico, narcoviolencia, que no lo vea. En este mismo país gran desarrollado, altamente desarrollado, quien no quiera ver el fentanilo y los zombies en la calle, que no lo vea. Pero eso es lo que estamos viendo. Eso es lo que estamos padeciendo. Y si tenemos algún nivel de responsabilidad en los territorios multilaterales como este, lo que tenemos que hacer, a veces, en vez de tanta cháchara dialéctica, ir a los bifes, ir a estos temas. Estos son los temas centrales por los que debemos luchar para tratar de abatirlos. No entiendo cómo a veces nos perdemos por rutas laterales o recurrimos a atajos. Así que bienvenido el grupo de trabajo, bienvenida esa instancia de coparticipación. No para generar reflexiones dialécticas que no le van a importar a nadie en nuestros pueblos, a nadie. Sí para tratar de encontrar puentes, mecanismos de cooperación, yo le llamo ensamblajes, para ver si encontramos alguna línea de respuesta a esto que es probablemente lo más grave que padecemos día a día en nuestro continente. ¿Cuánto quería decir, presidente?
Thank you very much, the Ambassador of Uruguay. Might I just remind everyone that we are talking about a voluntary group here, not a working group. I think the distinction is important to be made. Now I will give the floor to the Ambassador of Chile, or the representative of Chile.
Thank you for the promotion, Chair.
You deserve it.
Thank you. Primero que nada, mi delegación se suma a las felicitaciones y a los deseos de éxito en su gestión a la cabeza del Consejo Permanente. Al mismo tiempo, quisiéramos agradecer a la presidencia saliente por su trabajo y disposición para conducir las deliberaciones de este Consejo. Seré muy breve en relación con este grupo voluntario. Chile adhirió a él con entusiasmo y con genuina voluntad de participar de manera activa. Y muy brevemente quisiera recordar las palabras del presidente de Chile, Gabriel Boric, hace pocos días en esta misma sala, cuando dijo que los problemas de la democracia solamente pueden ser resueltos con más democracia. Y en ese espíritu, Chile está muy deseoso de participar en este grupo. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to the Ambassador of Brazil. I think I got that one right.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Obrigado, senhor presidente. Em primeiro lugar, eu gostaria de parabenizar Vossa Excelência por assumir a presidência deste Conselho. Conte, por favor, com o apoio da delegação do Brasil para o êxito de suas atribuições. Agradeço também à embaixadora Audrey Marks pelo seu período na presidência e ao meu querido amigo embaixador Roberto Quezada pela vice-presidência. O Brasil se juntou a esse grupo voluntário, senhor presidente, e gostaria de felicitar todos os Estados-membros que decidiram somar-se aos trabalhos do novo grupo, estabelecido na forma da resolução adotada na última Assembleia Geral e já citada. Reconhecemos a consulta aberta feita pela presidência deste Conselho para que cada Estado-membro indicasse sua intenção de associar-se a este exercício. Como eu tenho dito, inclusive em outros discursos prévios, que precisamos valorizar nossos espaços coletivos de negociação e de participação. Nem sempre será possível alcançar um consenso pleno, mas é parte inerente ao ofício diplomático tentar construir boas fórmulas que ampliem a legitimidade das ações e decisões coletivas. Nesse sentido, quero registrar que a atuação do Brasil no novo grupo criado se pautará pela busca de clareza e de transparência em nossos métodos de trabalho e em nossos objetivos, e sempre a abertura para a participação de novos membros que, porventura, não tenham aderido neste momento. Embora não existam regras específicas para disciplinar o funcionamento do grupo, entendemos que é fundamental que sejamos guiados pelos princípios que regem o direito internacional em geral e esta organização em particular. Como tantos disseram na sessão da semana passada, a Carta da OEA reafirma nosso compromisso com a democracia representativa e a necessidade de fortalecer as instituições democráticas. Além disso, a Carta Democrática Interamericana estabelece que a democracia é um direito fundamental de todos os cidadãos das Américas e uma condição para o seu desenvolvimento social, econômico e político. Estamos empenhados em buscar abordagens mais eficazes para otimizar todo o potencial à nossa disposição. É crucial sublinhar que a Carta explicitamente reconhece a interdependência entre democracia e desenvolvimento, estabelecendo orientações para a cooperação entre esta organização e os Estados-membros na promoção de valores e cultura democrática. Nosso colega do Uruguai lembrou vários problemas da qualidade das democracias, da incapacidade, muitas vezes, de resolver problemas prementes, mas é importante utilizar a Carta como um guia que já demonstra, lá em 2001, a necessidade de levar em conta a interdependência entre o desenvolvimento e a democracia, para que essa democracia possa dar resultados e ganhe com isso legitimidade resolvendo problemas concretos da população de toda a região. É vital, eu acho, aqui gostaria de agregar, que é vital que unamos esforços para enfrentar os novos desafios da democracia, não só os antigos, mas os novos também, decorrentes da desinformação, do extremismo violento. A desinformação mina a confiança nas instituições democráticas e distorce o processo político. Devemos redobrar nossos esforços para promover a alfabetização digital, a educação midiática, a verificação de fatos, a fim de combater a desinformação e também o discurso de ódio que viceja, muitas vezes, e mina a democracia em diversos âmbitos. Não podemos perder de vista que nosso objetivo compartilhado é a longo prazo. Buscamos democracias prósperas e estáveis em nossa região, aspirando a contribuir para um hemisfério onde os países trabalhem de forma coordenada para promover a paz, a justiça social e o desenvolvimento sustentável para todos. Que possamos, de maneira unida, avançar nessa jornada e fortalecer nossas democracias para as futuras gerações, agora por meio do novo grupo voluntário e aberto de Estados-membros, cuja formação aguardamos ansiosamente nos termos da declaração que foi endossada da última vez e hoje se concretiza neste Conselho Permanente. Muito obrigado.
Thank you very much for that important statement and exhortation, the Ambassador of Brazil. I now give the floor to, once again, the distinguished Ambassador of Mexico.
Gracias de nuevo, presidente. La delegación de México se ha sumado al grupo voluntario establecido según lo previsto en la resolución AG/Res 3004 de la Asamblea General de junio pasado, que alentó la creación de un grupo voluntario de composición abierta de los Estados miembros que fomente entre sus integrantes el diálogo, la cooperación horizontal y el intercambio de buenas prácticas, se identifique oportunidades dentro de los principios de la Carta de la OEA y de la Carta Democrática Interamericana para fortalecer sus democracias. Como lo expresó mi delegación en la sesión ordinaria del Consejo Permanente el 20 de septiembre pasado, México considera que el mandato de la Asamblea General es claro y este espacio debe servir para fortalecer el diálogo abierto, democrático y transparente, así como la cooperación entre los estados participantes del grupo voluntario en apego a los propósitos y principios de la Carta de la OEA y la Carta Democrática Interamericana, y cuyo funcionamiento deberá estar apegado al reglamento del Consejo Permanente. Los resultados de este grupo voluntario dependerán de ello y de un trabajo multilateral efectivo y transparente enfocado en la búsqueda de consensos sin imposiciones. Señor presidente, la ciudadanía de la región y el mundo exigen con razón democracias más participativas, que vayan más allá de la celebración periódica de elecciones y den respuesta a sus necesidades y aspiraciones, con un Estado de Derecho democrático donde se respeten todos los derechos de todas las personas. El grupo voluntario es una oportunidad para avanzar en este sentido y dialogar entre sus integrantes sobre todos los aspectos de la democracia, en particular su vínculo con el desarrollo integral, el combate a la pobreza, la promoción de los derechos económicos, sociales y culturales, la protección del medio ambiente, la salud, la educación, el fortalecimiento de las instituciones nacionales, entre otros derechos reconocidos en la Carta de la OEA y en la Carta Democrática Interamericana. Mi delegación trabajará en este grupo de manera constructiva, en apego estricto a su mandato, a los principios constitucionales de política exterior de mi país y a los propósitos y principios de la Carta de la OEA y otros instrumentos universales e interamericanos relevantes. Gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much, distinguished Ambassador of Mexico. May I just point out that, once again, that this is a voluntary group, not a working group of the Permanent Council. Therefore, the voluntary group is responsible for organizing its own work, how it will conduct it, by what rules it will conduct it, and also who will be its chairman and all of the other necessities that will come to conduct its work. However, I thought that there was much good sense in the remarks just made by the Ambassador of Mexico in terms of how that voluntary group might go about its work, taking into account the rules by which we ourselves operate, so that there is no departure from it. I give the floor now to the United States of America.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair, and my delegation thanks you for placing this item on today's Permanent Council agenda. Colleagues, our region stands as a beacon of hope and resilience, but as we each know far too well, the past 2 decades have underscored the fragility of democracy in the hemisphere. In these times of challenge, unity and vigilance remain our greatest assets. At the 9th Summit of the Americas, hosted by President Biden in Los Angeles in June 2022, leaders from across the Americas reaffirmed their dedication to the Inter-American Democratic Charter and its principles. The United States remains firmly committed to joint supportive efforts here at the OAS, recognizing the importance of shared commitments and collective action based on mutual respect. Today, we welcome and express our enthusiastic support for the establishment of the new voluntary group of member states to support follow-up on the Inter-American Democratic Charter as mandated by the June 2023 OAS General Assembly. This initiative, endorsed by 26 member states in our last regular Permanent Council meeting, represents a powerful and concrete commitment to strengthening democracy in our hemisphere. The United States believes that the new voluntary group can play a pivotal role in bolstering our region's democracies, countering emerging threats to democratic institutions, promoting human rights education and civic values, and enhancing the application and proactive use of the Democratic Charter. Chair, this is because we are acutely aware that when democratic practices are compromised anywhere in the Americas, it affects all of us. Thus, this group's work is paramount to our collective security and well-being. Furthermore, we are heartened to see that the establishment of the voluntary group aligns well with the objectives of the Community of Democracies, now under the chairmanship of Canada, and with the efforts of the Friends of the Democratic Charter. This convergence opens doors to opportunities for future joint activities and partnerships that can only help amplify the impact of our collaborative efforts to better promote democracy. In conclusion, the United States stands ready to contribute actively to the work of the voluntary group. We look forward to engaging in support of innovative solutions, strategies, and initiatives that will emerge from this endeavor. Thank you, Chair and distinguished colleagues. We welcome productive collaboration in the days ahead.
Thank you very much. And now the distinguished Ambassador of Bolivia.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Yo no iba a pedir la palabra en esta ocasión y en este punto, pero escuchándolo a mi buen amigo, el embajador de Uruguay, Washington Abdalá, me motiva a hacer un breve comentario. El Estado Plurinacional de Bolivia, presidente, tenía serias dudas de integrar o no este grupo de trabajo. Y finalmente nos inclinamos por entrar al grupo de trabajo voluntario para hacer escuchar nuestra voz y para decir nuestras críticas, porque yo creo que la construcción de mecanismos eficientes que le sirvan a nuestros pueblos parte por el debate, parte por el análisis y parte por el análisis desde dentro. Y ahí nos ha de gustar participar, señor presidente, no tanto en el entendido de analizar la concepción de lo que es la Carta Democrática Interamericana. Hay algunas ocasiones en que entendemos a la Carta Democrática Interamericana como si fuera un tratado internacional, y el verdadero tratado es la Carta Constitutiva de la OEA del año 1948. La Carta Democrática Interamericana, que va a cumplir o que ya ha cumplido 22 años, es un documento fundamental, pero es un documento adoptado por un mecanismo de gobierno, cual es la Asamblea General de la Organización de Estados Americanos, en Lima hace 22 años. La Carta Democrática Interamericana es un documento fundamental y necesario, porque yo comulgo y mi país comulga firmemente con esa descripción tan maravillosa que nos dio el presidente Boric hace algunos días en este mismo salón. Los problemas de la democracia se solucionan con más democracia. La democracia es el mecanismo idóneo, perfecto, maravilloso, es el máximo invento de la humanidad, como diría Carl Einstein, que se ha desarrollado para la conducción de la política y los designios de los estados. Carl Einstein, de alguna manera, comparaba este invento maravilloso con el descubrimiento de la máquina a vapor o de la imprenta para facilitar el conocimiento de los seres humanos. Sin embargo, el problema de la Carta, que es un buen documento en sí, no parece ser el contenido del mismo. Es un contenido sano, un contenido noble. Quizá, y esperemos, hacemos votos porque el análisis y el debate mandado además por una Asamblea General abarque también la forma de cómo debe desarrollarse y cómo debe aplicarse este documento. Un gran profesor mío decía que las normas, los documentos, las cartas, son tan buenas o tan malas dependiendo en manos de quienes estén. Y eso se aplica para las normas jurídicas y se aplica para los documentos. Este profesor nos decía que las normas, los documentos y las cartas son como un bisturí. Un bisturí en las manos de un cirujano es un instrumento para salvar una vida. Ese mismo bisturí en las manos de un asaltante puede ser un arma para cegar una vida. Las normas, en definitiva, son tan buenas o tan malas dependiendo en manos de quienes estén, cómo se apliquen, cómo se desarrollan. Nos gusta la idea de fortalecer los instrumentos y los mecanismos que hacen bien a los estados y a las naciones en su elemento más importante, el desarrollo de su democracia. Pero queremos pensar en una Carta Democrática que se aplique a todos los estados por igual. Y digo esto, señor presidente, con mucho respeto en función a la experiencia boliviana, para la cual este maravilloso instrumento que tanto veneramos y tanto santificamos y tanto analizamos, cuando ocurrió verdaderamente un quiebre constitucional, un golpe de Estado en noviembre del 2019, la Carta simplemente no existió. Esta reflexión para justificar una participación crítica, objetiva, pero al mismo tiempo constructiva del Estado Plurinacional de Bolivia. Gracias por su paciencia, señor presidente.
Thank you very much, Ambassador of Bolivia. The contributions that have been made to this discussion so far are rich. I'm sure that the members of the voluntary group will take full account of everything that has been said here, as indeed we will on the Permanent Council as well. Now I give the floor to the distinguished representatives of Peru.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Ante todo, quería expresarle la felicitación del Perú, ¿no?, y los mejores deseos para su gestión en estos meses que siguen. El Perú se une a esta iniciativa de la creación del grupo con la plena convicción de que tendrá por norte fortalecer el diálogo y la cooperación entre nuestros estados. En esta línea es importante destacar la transparencia que debe primar. Es indispensable la confianza que debemos tener en el trabajo que se realice en el grupo voluntario. Tampoco debemos dejar de lado el enfoque social, la lucha contra la pobreza, atender los problemas estructurales que enfrentamos y que generan grandes obstáculos para vivir en democracia. Todos estos son temas que pone de relieve la Carta Democrática Interamericana, un instrumento que desde su nacimiento, hace ya más de 20 años, ha tenido prioridad para el Perú y la continuará teniendo. La Carta Democrática es un hito, es una muestra del compromiso de los estados americanos con la democracia, como derecho de los pueblos de nuestro hemisferio y como la mejor herramienta para el desarrollo y la convivencia pacífica. La prioridad que el Perú asigna a la Carta Democrática y la base que debe sentar para nuestros esfuerzos para trabajar por la democracia es algo que no va a cambiar para el Perú. Gracias.
Thank you very much. And now I give the floor to our final speaker on this matter, the representative of Colombia.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Colombia se une a este grupo voluntario porque, como lo ha mencionado en repetidas oportunidades el presidente de la República, Gustavo Petro, no podemos pasar por alto los desafíos fundamentales que limitan el desempeño efectivo de la democracia en la región tales como la desigualdad, la falta de acceso a los recursos mínimos, la crisis civilizatoria integral, la crisis climática y el miedo, que no permiten un goce efectivo de los derechos fundamentales de la sociedad. Colombia considera que la democracia y su defensa requiere de acciones innovativas y de resultados permanentes, por lo que debemos trabajar incansablemente para avanzar en la implementación y aplicación plena e integral de la Carta Democrática. Y eso implica también superar la pobreza y las desigualdades, generar condiciones de equidad y justicia social que permitan que todas las personas puedan participar plenamente en el proceso democrático y ejercer sus derechos de manera efectiva. Cuando Colombia se une a una iniciativa como la que estamos hoy presentando, reafirma también su compromiso inquebrantable para proteger y trabajar en pro de la democracia por medio del esfuerzo conjunto hacia un desarrollo integral que permita, entre sus principales pilares, la participación plena e igualitaria de las mujeres como un elemento esencial y transversal para la consolidación de la democracia. Finalmente, invitamos a aquellos Estados miembros que aún no hacen parte del grupo a que se unan, para así continuar reafirmando activamente nuestro compromiso común con la democracia y el cumplimiento de los derechos humanos y las libertades fundamentales en toda la región. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Colombia. Colleagues, we've had a rich discussion, I think, on the question of this voluntary group in support of the Inter-American Democratic Charter. It is clear from the contributions that have been made by everyone here that upholding the principles laid out in that charter are extremely important. The charter is a guide for all of us to act. There may be matters that in the past we have to look at in terms of its application. I think that was acknowledged in the statement read by the group at the Permanent Council last week, when the group tried to make it clear what its objectives were and its purposes. I am delighted that the Ambassador of Bolivia has joined in this group, and I think the numbers are quite high at the moment of the countries that have already joined, though for some reason, I don't have the exact number to hand to tell you how many countries have actually decided that they will join this group. But I do know this, it is an overwhelming majority of our member states. And if I may, I would urge all member states to take the position of Bolivia, and that is to join in this activity. The charter is, after all, our charter. We are guided by it. Supporting it is important. Many countries have stepped forward to try to ensure that in its application, it is done on a fair and equitable basis. And this, I think, is a concern that we all have and that we all share. So I, again, would appeal to all member states to join with the overwhelming majority of others. And again, I apologize for not having the exact figure of those who have already signed up to tell you what the number is. But I do know that it is an overwhelming majority of our member states that have done so. Now, I think we've concluded the discussion on this. But before I end this, I want to say that the way in which the Permanent Council will deal with this is that we will take note of the remarks made by our distinguished friend, the Ambassador of Costa Rica, with respect to the group. We will also take note of all of the statements made here this morning. I also want to note for the record that the Open Participation Voluntary Group on the Inter-American Democratic Charter is established as an independent entity from the Permanent Council with no reliance on the resources or regulations, and with the support of the Secretariat for Strengthening Democracy. That was the mandate we had from the General Assembly, and that is how we will proceed. However, the Permanent Council will be open to receiving any information that this voluntary group may wish to share with us from time to time, particularly if it leads to the kind of rich discussion that we had here this morning. So there being no objection, it is so agreed. Agreed. Colleagues, we will now proceed to the election of one member of the Audit Committee of the Organization of American States and one member of the Justice Studies Center of the Americas in accordance with the decision adopted by the General Assembly during its 53rd regular session. For the existing vacancy in the OAS Audit Committee, the candidacy of Mr. James A. Walsh, presented by the United States, was received. There being only one candidate for the vacancy in question, I propose that he be elected by acclamation as a member of the OAS Audit Committee for a 4-year term to begin on January 1st, 2024 and to end on December 31st, 2027. Acclamation, please. Our sincere congratulations to Mr. Walsh on his election, and we wish him every success in his work as a member of the OAS Audit Committee. Colleagues, we now proceed with the election of one member of the Justice Studies Center of the Americas. Again, for this existing vacancy, Mr. Bruno Alberto Novoa Campos, presented by Peru, was received. There being only one candidacy for this vacancy, I again propose that he be elected by acclamation as a member of the Justice Studies Center of the Americas for a 3-year term, beginning on January 1st, 2024, and ending on December 31st, 2026. With no objection, acclamation. Our sincere congratulations to Mr. Nova on his election, and we wish him every success in his work. The ambassador of Peru, I think, has asked, well, the embassy of Peru has asked for the floor.
Señor presidente, es el embajador, el representante permanente quien desea hablar en este momento.
Okay, the permanent representative.
Hola. Hola. Hola, muy buenos días. Quiero saber si me escuchan. Perfecto. Señor presidente, en primer lugar deseo saludarlo y felicitarlo por esta nueva presidencia al frente de nuestro Consejo Permanente. Le auguro éxitos, presidente. De la misma manera, presidente, en nombre del Estado peruano, cuna del Perú de la Carta Democrática Interamericana, felicito a la membresía por la notable conformación del grupo de voluntarios. Y con relación, señor presidente, a la propuesta que ha formulado el Estado peruano en relación a la candidatura para el Centro de Estudios de Justicia en las Américas, deseo, señor presidente, expresar mi agradecimiento más sincero por la confianza depositada en el abogado Bruno Novoa Campos en esta elección para integrar el Consejo Directivo del Centro de Estudios de Justicia de América. El señor Bruno Novoa Campos cuenta con una amplia experiencia y un profundo conocimiento en el ámbito del derecho constitucional y que a lo largo de los años ha demostrado su compromiso con la promoción y fortalecimiento del Estado de Derecho, así como su dedicación a la defensa de los derechos fundamentales de la justicia. Confiamos plenamente, señor presidente, en que la vasta experiencia, la sólida formación académica y la destacada trayectoria profesional en la dirección y gestión de centros de altos estudios del abogado Bruno Novoa contribuirán de manera significativa a los esfuerzos y proyectos emprendidos por el CEJA en su labor de apoyo a los procesos de reforma y modernización de los sistemas de justicia en las Américas. Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Buen día.
Thank you very much, the ambassador of Peru. I apologize, I did not realize that he was going to be making that presentation visually. Distinguished representatives, we will now move to the last item on our order of business, which is any other business. I offer the floor to delegations that may wish to bring any informational matters to the attention of the Council. And with this, I recognize the distinguished representative of the Permanent Observer Mission of Italy. Oh. It said Italy, but since then, I see. Since then, other member states have asked for the floor, and as you know, the tradition here is that member states take precedence when they wish to speak over observer missions. So the order is changed, and we will now hear from Chile.
Muchas gracias, presidente. Con su permiso, quisiera dar lectura a un comunicado de mi Cancillería emitido el sábado 30 de septiembre. El Gobierno de Chile manifiesta su alta preocupación ante los hechos acontecidos hoy, me refiero al sábado, en la hermana República de Guatemala, donde nuevamente se registran interferencias al proceso democrático que buscan alterar el ejercicio de la voluntad soberana del pueblo guatemalteco, expresada en las elecciones de primera y segunda vuelta realizadas en ese país. Estos hechos evidencian un nuevo intento de desestabilizar y deslegitimizar el proceso electoral en Guatemala, lo cual condenamos con firmeza. El Gobierno de Chile reitera su llamado a las autoridades guatemaltecas a poner fin a estos actos de intimidación contra las instituciones electorales y a garantizar el proceso de transición democrática que permita a quienes han sido electos por el pueblo de Guatemala asumir sus funciones al frente del Gobierno en tiempo y forma, en concordancia con las normas constitucionales. Muchas gracias, presidente.
I thank the representative of Colombia for that statement. However, I wish to point out that this item is the item of any other business for informational matters. I do not think that it is right that we should raise matters of the kind that was just raised, which blindsides other delegations sitting here, including the delegation of Guatemala. This is not the purpose of any other business and the opportunity to deliver informational statements. That kind of thing needs to come to this OS Permanent Council by a different means, either a resolution, a declaration, a statement, but something that gives other countries an opportunity to discuss what is being presented before it is presented in this way. Let me be clear. As the chairman of this Permanent Council, I intend to operate a fair and just system with regard to everybody. People will be given full opportunity to say what they have to say, but in accordance with procedures and rules. So having said that, I now give the floor to Brazil?
Colombia.
I'm sorry, Colombia.
Señor presidente, muchas gracias. Hemos desde luego escuchado su intervención, pero la delegación de Colombia considera absolutamente indispensable compartir con los Estados de las Américas su posicionamiento en relación con el comunicado de prensa que vamos a leer y que tiene el mismo sentido que el leído por la misión de Chile. Así que, con su venia, señor presidente, brevemente vamos a leer el comunicado emitido en la fecha, que dice: el Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores manifiesta su profunda preocupación ante el nuevo allanamiento del Ministerio Público al Tribunal Supremo Electoral en Guatemala, resultante en la violación a la autonomía e independencia del órgano electoral, garante de la transparencia y la legitimidad de los comicios y el respeto a la voluntad popular. El Gobierno de Colombia exhorta a las autoridades guatemaltecas a poner fin a estos actos de hostigamiento contra las instituciones electorales y a garantizar el proceso de transición democrática que permitan al presidente y vicepresidenta elegidos por el pueblo asumir sus cargos al frente del gobierno en los plazos constitucionales. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, and I now give the floor to the delegation of Brazil.
Obrigado, senhor presidente. Eu pedi a palavra para registrar que o governo brasileiro aderiu no dia 31 de agosto, a parceria internacional para a informação e a democracia, por ocasião da visita da secretária-geral das Relações Exteriores, embaixadora Maria Laura da Rocha, à França. Essa é uma iniciativa que foi lançada em 26 de setembro de 2019 e congrega agora 51 países em torno de princípios comuns relacionados à defesa da circulação de informações confiáveis e da democracia. Entre os Estados membros da OEA também participam da parceria Argentina, Canadá, Chile, Costa Rica, Estados Unidos e Uruguai, além de vários dos membros observadores. Ao somar-se à parceria, o Brasil busca incentivar princípios de transparência, responsabilidade e neutralidade em atividades de comunicação, inclusive em meios virtuais. A adesão brasileira à parceria reforça ainda o compromisso em combater a disseminação do racismo e de todas as formas de discriminação e intolerância. Ao promover marcos legais domésticos e padrões internacionais para o exercício da liberdade de expressão e o acesso a informações confiáveis, o Brasil busca combater a desinformação e o discurso de ódio, proteger o trabalho de jornalistas e profissionais de imprensa e promover o respeito aos direitos humanos e às liberdades fundamentais, como a liberdade de expressão, de opinião e de imprensa, essenciais à defesa da democracia. O Brasil integra grupos de países que lideram em diferentes foros multilaterais, em particular no âmbito das Nações Unidas, iniciativas dedicadas ao direito à privacidade, à liberdade de expressão, à proteção de jornalistas e ao acesso à informação e aos impactos das novas tecnologias digitais e da internet sobre os direitos humanos. Muito obrigado.
Thank you very much, the Ambassador of Brazil. And now I give the floor to the delegation of Honduras.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Y felicitaciones a los embajadores que ya nos acompañan, como Stuart y el reverendo Francis. Yo quiero referirme a un tema que no parece importante, pero yo creo que sí lo es. ¿Por qué? Porque nosotros estamos en esta organización, defendemos la democracia, la Carta Democrática, y debemos de obrar con el ejemplo. En el caso de la presidenta del Consejo Permanente y yo, vinimos perdidos, nadie nos avisó, no se hizo ceremonia, yo creo que por la timidez del señor embajador Ronald, pero como sea, siempre es importante. Digamos, en este momento, yo no sé quién tiene la vicepresidencia, por ejemplo. Yo creo que es una ceremonia breve, pequeña, pero que a todos nos instruye, nos ayuda y damos el ejemplo de que las transiciones deben de ser claras, limpias, públicas, para que los otros países aprendan también de que así debe ser la democracia, cuando hay que salir del poder y entregarlo. Quiero agradecer al grupo de SICA, que me ha felicitado por mi gestión, también a la embajadora Mark, que me dio la oportunidad de presidir tantas veces el Consejo Permanente, sin miedo a que yo le quitara la silla. Así que no se la quisiera devolver, ¿verdad? Entonces, yo creo que es todo. Gracias a todos los que se han referido a la labor de la embajadora Mark, a la mía. Hicimos lo posible, gracias a ustedes por su colaboración. Y tengo 1 minuto 38 segundos y para dar el ejemplo, hasta aquí llego con el tiempo. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much. Just to be clear, there has been no ceremony. As I understand it, I had to assume the chairmanship of the OAS today. That is the date on which, officially, it is supposed to start. I was informed by the Chief of Protocol that there will be a handing over ceremony next week. And the reason for that is the Secretary General is not here, and it would not have been right to have had that ceremony without his presence. So it was agreed, apparently, that the ceremony would take place next week. So I want to assure you, Ambassador Casado, that we will all be there to shake your hand, kiss you on both sides of your cheeks, and embrace you in any other way that you wish, to acknowledge the sterling performance you did on the many occasions in which you acted as chair when Ambassador Marks could not be present. So please do not believe that anybody here has disrespected you in any way. The ceremony is next week. We will all go through the formality of having watched me take a gavel from Audrey Marks and all of that, but that's the way it is. We rise to every occasion, sir, and we will rise to that one too. Okay, now I give the floor to the ambassador, to the distinguished representative of the United States.
I've been promoted. Thank you, Chair. I just want to extend on the part of the delegation of the United States our gratitude for your remarks earlier on the passing of a true American pioneer and a dedicated public servant, Senator Dianne Feinstein. President Biden aptly described her as a trailblazer, and indeed her legacy will be etched in our country's history. Senator Feinstein's journey began in San Francisco, where she displayed remarkable poise and courage in the face of adversity, ultimately becoming a powerful advocate for the values upon which my country was founded. Her indomitable spirit and unwavering commitment were exemplified in her leadership, particularly in her crusade to ban assault weapons, a testament to her skillful legislating and sheer force of will. Throughout a storied career, Senator Feinstein left an indelible mark on issues ranging from national security to environmental protection and the safeguarding of civil liberties. Her leadership extended beyond the Senate chamber as she generously mentored countless public servants, paving the way for a new generation of leaders who now serve in various capacities, including with the current Biden administration. Mr. Chair, Dianne Feinstein was not just a trailblazer, but a role model for many, especially young women, who saw in her a beacon of hope and opportunity. She shattered glass ceilings, demonstrated resilience, and consistently championed justice for all. In her capacity as the longest-serving female senator, she embodied dedication, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to the betterment of our nation. Her contributions to national security, LGBTI rights, and women's rights have left an indelible mark on the legislative landscape, and yet Senator Feinstein's impact extended beyond our borders, as evidenced by her work on international narcotics control and her dedication to the security challenges in the Caribbean. Her 2012 report, Preventing a Security Crisis in the Caribbean, highlighted the importance of addressing drug trafficking and violence in the region, underlining her commitment to supporting our neighbors in the Western Hemisphere. She was also a strong advocate for close ties with Mexico, a neighbor of the state she loved and served for decades. Her unwavering support of Haitian counter-narcotics efforts and her tireless work on immigration issues, particularly her commitment to protecting immigrant children and advocating for comprehensive immigration reform, further demonstrated her dedication to humanitarian causes. Chair and colleagues, thank you all for joining my country in honoring a mentor and a champion of justice. Her legacy will continue to inspire us to work together and pursue the principles of dedication, integrity, and commitment. Senator Feinstein's legacy will continue to inspire all of us as we strive for a more just and equitable hemisphere. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, delegation of the United States. I now give the floor to the ambassador of Suriname.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, a press release of the OAS Working Group on Haiti was circulated to all member states, and I want to give a short statement on its content. And the title of that press release is Haiti Needs More International Commitment for Humanitarian Assistance. Despite the recent deterioration of the security situation in Haiti, local and international organizations still find the will and ways to reach people in need. Unfortunately, these organizations do not have enough means to provide for the people in need because they lack adequate funding. The World Food Programme would like to provide 2 meals per day to about 20,000 recently displaced persons, but is only able to provide 10,000 with 1 meal a day. The budget for 2023 for the UN Humanitarian Response Plan, which includes the World Food Programme, was US $720 million. But so far only a quarter of those funds have been secured. For the meals of the recently displaced persons, the budget is $3.3 million, but less than half is available. Thus, many Haitians are suffering not only because of the security situation, but also because of a lack of funding to the organizations which still can provide basic needs and services. These facts were presented during a hybrid special meeting of the Humanitarian Assistance Cluster of the OAS Working Group on Haiti on the issue of displaced persons, held on Monday, September 25. The OAS Working Group on Haiti is drawing attention to this lack of funding for the much-needed humanitarian effort and hope that donor countries and agencies will provide extra funding. To that effect, we circulated a press release which you all have received. In that press release, a short report is provided of the meeting of the Humanitarian Assistance Cluster. The meeting focused on the internal displaced persons in Haiti, especially on the recent displaced persons. The security efforts are, of course, important, but we also need to keep our focus on the humanitarian needs of the Haitian people. As was shown during previous cluster meetings, humanitarian assistance cooperation between national and international organizations can still lead to practical solutions in a very difficult environment. The coordinator of the Humanitarian Assistance Cluster called upon the IOM and other organizations to further look into the situation of the recent displaced people. The OAS mission in Haiti will also assist where possible. The OAS Working Group on Haiti will increase awareness for the necessary funding, and this statement is part of that. Thank you.
Gracias, Surinam. Tiene ahora la palabra el señor representante de Trinidad y Tobago.
Muchas gracias, señora presidenta. I take the floor on behalf of the delegation of Trinidad and Tobago, principally to ensure that the global observance today of both the International Day of Non-Violence and World Habitat Day are recognized here at our Permanent Council meeting. But before going into that substantive purpose, I must join with colleagues in recognizing that today's Permanent Council meeting is certainly a momentous occasion. Several firsts have been identified by Ambassador Sanders himself, and so this delegation wishes to assure the chair of the Permanent Council of its support during his third tenure, during his time here, and certainly as the permanent representative who has had the privilege and pleasure of serving longest with Ambassador Sanders among us, it really comes with a deep sense of appreciation and anticipation for the value that we will continue to derive from his leadership here. I also wish to join in expressing this delegation's appreciation to the outgoing Chair, Ambassador Marks, and also to the Vice Chair, Ambassador Quesada, to join in our expression of condolences to the United States on the passing of Senator Feinstein. And I'll take a few seconds to just share with you the impact and influence of Senator Feinstein. As a 17-year-old secondary school student in Trinidad and Tobago, 1979 and 1980, preparing for an examination for a subject called General Paper that some of us in the English-speaking Caribbean would be aware of. I had the privilege then of researching first and referring to the work being done by then Mayor Feinstein in San Francisco, a long time ago, probably before some of us here were even on the planet. So I, on behalf of this delegation, join in expressing our appreciation or condolences to the United States delegation. And we really must appreciate the influence of women like Senator Feinstein, who affect the lives of not only women and girls, but young men like myself then, by their service and what they bring to life for us in humanity. I also must reiterate our delegation's welcome to the permanent representatives of Canada and Grenada. and also to acknowledge the commitment expressed by those member states that have agreed to participate in the voluntary group on the Inter-American Democratic Charter. Chair, distinguished colleagues, today is observed globally as the International Day of Non-Violence. We have not yet, at this Permanent Council, determined how we will fully recognize that, but this delegation wishes to just join in acknowledging the significance of that observance. Second, today is also World Habitat Day, and I take this occasion as I close, before closing, to read into the record of this meeting the World Habitat Day 2023 message of the Honorable Camille Robinson Regis, Minister of Housing and Urban Development of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And I read, today, as Trinidad and Tobago joins the global community in commemorating World Habitat Day under the theme Resilient Urban Economies, Cities as Drivers of Growth and Recovery, we are reminded of the profound significance of adequate housing and sustainable urban development for all. In Trinidad and Tobago, we steadfastly adhere to the principles outlined in our National Development Strategy, Vision 2030, and our commitment to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 11, of making our cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. The government and private sector in Trinidad and Tobago are consistently providing our citizens with secure, affordable, and adequate housing to enhance their overall well-being and quality of life. We remain dedicated to the following key areas: affordable housing, sustainable urbanization, inclusivity, and community engagement. As we commemorate World Habitat Day 2023, the ministry, staff, agencies of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development of Trinidad and Tobago and the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago remain committed to nurturing communities and transforming our urban, suburban, and rural communities into premier centers of growth and recovery to live, work, and flourish. May our collective endeavors, reinforced with boundless faith in our destiny, guide us toward a brighter, sustainable, and resilient future. Again, this delegation wishes everyone Happy International Day of Nonviolence, and as I've just read, Happy World Habitat Day. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much. The Chair wishes to remind delegations that the whole point of any other business is to present informational material that delegations think we ought to be aware of. It is not an occasion for some of the things that we saw here this morning, and I want to warn that as Chair of this Permanent Council, with the tasks that are very clear that I have to perform, I am going to be mindful of the rules that govern these things, and I would ask everybody else to be mindful of them too. Now, the one delegation that did write to the Chair to say that they wanted to speak on any other business was the delegation of the Observer Mission of Italy. He has waited patiently, and I think we should now give him the honor of listening to him as patiently as he waited for us. Ambassador, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the outset, I wish to extend also on behalf of the delegations of Spain, France, and the Holy See, our warmest congratulations as you start your third term as Chair of the Permanent Council. I'm sure that the work of the Council will greatly benefit from your experience and guidance in the coming months. I also wish to express appreciation to the outgoing Chair of the Permanent Council, the Permanent Representative of Jamaica, Ambassador Audrey Marks, for her work at the helm of the Council in the last months, and take the opportunity to extend also on behalf of the delegations of Spain, France, and the Holy See, a warm welcome to the new Permanent Representative of Canada, Ambassador Stuart Savage, and to the new Permanent Representative of Grenada, Ambassador Tarlie Francis. Mr. Chair, dear colleagues, it is my pleasure to take the floor today to inform this Council that on October 12 and 13, Italy will host in Rome the 11th Italy, Latin America and Caribbean Conference. The conference is organized by the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs with the cooperation of the Istituto Italo-Latino-Americano. All 33 Latin American Caribbean countries have been invited, as well as regional organizations, starting, of course, with the Secretary General of the Organization of American States and regional development banks. Invitations have also been extended to the Holy See, the European Union, and Spain in its capacity of rotating presidency of the European Council. The conference will take place at the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and will be chaired by the Italian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Italy, Mr. Antonio Tajani, who looks forward to receiving your heads of delegations in Rome next week. We are delighted by the excellent response that we have received, as the vast majority of participating countries will attend at the level of Minister of Foreign Affairs. The conference will offer the opportunity to confirm and further strengthen the special relationship between Italy and Latin America and the Caribbean countries that is a priority for my government. The different sessions of the event will be an opportunity to address the main topics of interest in Italy's deep and long-standing relationship with the region, with particular focus on the following areas. First, our collaboration in addressing global challenges together, climate change and environmental emergency, with a special focus on the vulnerabilities of the Caribbean, energy and food security. Second, how to go beyond these challenges to shape an equal economic partnership, restore and redirect global value chain, and develop bilateral trade and productive investment, generate employment, foster collaboration in science, technology, and culture. In short, how to collaborate for the prosperity of our people, which, as often said in this Council, is key to foster democracy in the region. Third, the future of Europe, Latin America and Caribbean partnership, with focus on opportunities for bilateral cooperation in the aftermath of the EU-CELAC summit held last July. Finally, a session dedicated to what we like to call legal diplomacy, with a structured dialogue among Italian and Latin American Caribbean heads of national law enforcement authorities, aimed at further enhancing Italy's long-standing cooperation with your countries in the crucial areas of justice and security that are vital domains for the quality of our democracies and of our societies. Mr. Chair, dear colleagues, I conclude by thanking you for your attention, and we look forward to receiving your delegations in Rome next week, and it will be my pleasure to keep this Council informed on the outcomes of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Ambassador of Italy, for that very informative statement. Now, colleagues, I think we have more or less come to the end of our meeting, and before ending it, I'd like to inform the delegations that I've instructed the Secretariat to distribute the documents related to the Permanent Council retreat that took place on March 16th, in accordance with the request of the distinguished Ambassador of Mexico. And I would like to say to the Ambassador of Mexico and others who are interested in the results of that retreat being somehow implemented by the Permanent Council, that as chair, I would welcome a discussion with the person such as the Ambassador of Mexico as to how this Permanent Council might best take forward some of those commitments that we, as the permanent representatives of countries in this organization, decided that we would like to see it go forward. If we do not want all of the work that went into that retreat, work that was led by Ambassador Philip Spencer and others around this table, we don't want that work to go to waste. We all spent a great deal of time trying to figure out the best way in which we could address some of the difficulties in an informal manner that this organization faces. We have a document, and I would like to consult with others in how we could best bring it back to this Permanent Council to take it forward. So, having said that, I want to again assure Ambassador Quesada that there will be a ceremony, I'm assured by the Protocol Department, next week for the formal handing over of what we've already done today, and that is the presidency of the Permanent Council at which time the invaluable service paid by Ambassador Marks and Ambassador Caseda in running this Permanent Council over the last 3 months will be fully acknowledged. Sir.
Gracias, embajador Sander, por la explicación, ¿no? Pero la verdad es que no estábamos informados y hubiese sido bueno decirlo al principio. Hoy, si ya no se nos pudo mandar una nota el viernes, porque si uno no sabe si alguien ha asumido, de hecho, nosotros veníamos preparados hasta bien bonitos, bien vestidos para la ceremonia. Ya veníamos listos. Entonces, de haber sabido, pues nosotros no nos ponemos tan guapos hoy. Así que muchas gracias y esperemos esta ceremonia. Ojalá la anuncien. Gracias.
That matter, Ambassador Caseda, is not in my hands. Just as any formal notice to you was not in my hands. I became the chair today. Anything that happened before I sat in this chair was not my responsibility. But please believe the things for which I am responsible, I will be responsible. And everybody will do it, including you. So, thank you very much, colleagues. I think we've come to the end of this meeting, and the meeting is therefore now adjourned.